What's up, my dudes? My name is Sister Turley, and I'm going to be doing another crazy Spencer Turley rant off in some random direction for 30-minute kind of videos. So get ready, sit back, eat some popcorn, and let's get right here into it. So in this video, the topic is sort of any pro legendary sort of athlete out there that might have entered their sport in a time where the sport was really changing, so it might make you think that that certain athlete was sort of before their time in a sense. So that's really the topic of this video, and I think it's pretty cool because a lot of athletes out there, you try to think of what was the best athlete in whatever sport. You could think Muhammad Ali in boxing, you could think Michael Jordan in basketball, you could think Ricky Carmichael in motocross, or even sort of Jeremy McGrath, but I still think Ricky Carmichael is kind of above McGrath in a sense. Some of you guys may disagree with me on that, but you know, you always have that one athlete that sort of broke down the doors in a sense, and I feel like you can only break down that door one time truly. I feel like once you have an athlete that really breaks that door down, no one else can really do it like they did it, because I feel like they almost got lucky in a sense where they found that sport in a time where they were before their time, so they could sort of, let me just give you a little example. Like in motocross, before Ricky Carmichael and before Jeremy McGrath, they never took it as serious as they do nowadays. And you might think totally different, but I promise you, back in the 80s, 70s, and before that, I mean, they took it serious, but it wasn't what it was today. It wasn't all this crazy technology, you know, trying to figure out your breathing and do all this to a certain number down to a science with every little thing and work out every single day. And back in the day, they used to just have more fun with it. But once McGrath came around and really started taking it a little more serious, and then Carmichael came around and started taking it more serious, then those people sort of were on another level. They were just legendary at that point. But it seems like ever since those people came around, we've never seen somebody just shock the world in motocross like those two did. So it's crazy how you think about it. You think about it, did they just catch that sport at the perfect time where no one was really taking it very serious, and then they all of a sudden just happened to, you know, be good in that sport at that certain time, and then just right in that perfect era, they just happened to become way more serious than anybody else ever had been. So is that the reason they were really considered the greatest of all time, or legendary, or was it just truly they were legendary at what they did? You know, it really makes you think about it, because you think about nowadays, there's nobody going out there winning 7 Supercross championships or winning, gosh, however many. Ricky Carmichael, he never lost a championship in motocross, did he? I think he won like 10 in a row, something crazy, 2 perfect seasons, some crazy stuff like that, and you just don't see that nowadays anymore. So it really makes you think about it, you know, what's going on there. And I really try to think my hardest about it, and a lot of times when you look at who's considered the greatest of all time, it's not necessarily stats wise, it's how they did it. It's like, for instance, Muhammad Ali, I consider him the greatest boxer of all time because it's the way he boxed was such a like smart thinking, calculated. He did the totally opposite of what everybody else used to do. If you go back and look at Muhammad Ali fights, he never even used to hold up his hands like you think about in boxing. They hold up their fist right in front of their face so they can block boxing attacks and punches and things like that. But Muhammad Ali had his hands down by his side, dude. That's insane when you think about it, because he didn't listen to no trainer. He didn't listen to an instructor. He did it his own way. So therefore, once he went up to an opponent, they didn't know what the crap to think, because here he is, got his hands down by his side, and like, punch me in the face. But Muhammad Ali is so quick with his movement that they still couldn't hit him anyways. But see, he had his hands down by his side, so he could swing from the side, and the other opponents never even knew it was coming, because they're so used to fighting the everyday standard people that just fight with their hands right in front of their face. So you think about it, like, that's just amazing how Muhammad Ali did that. And Money Mayweather has probably won more fights and whatever than Muhammad Ali, but I still consider Muhammad Ali the greatest of all time just by the way he did it, not necessarily stats-wise. So it can get pretty crazy when you think about it. But for instance, in this day and age in motocross, I think it's amazing what Ryan Villopoto did as far as winning 4 Supercross championships in a row. You just don't see that nowadays. And he did it in a time where everybody is taking it ultimately seriously, like on another level of serious. And that's pretty impressive what Ryan Villopoto did. And just the way Ryan Villopoto rode, he rode like on a perfect limit, but in control at the exact same time. And I've never seen somebody in motocross do it like Ryan Villopoto did it like that, where he could be just on that edge, but be in control and be able to bring it down when he needed to. But you think about somebody like Dungey, and he's one of those he's a little bit less on the edge, but he's 100% in control. And then you think about Stewart, where he's a little more too much on the edge and he's not quite as much in control. But somebody like Villopoto just had managed to find that absolute perfect balance, and I've never seen somebody ride like that. And it makes you think, did Carmichael just get lucky and he happened to race when there was really not a lot of other competition? I mean, you could say Stewart or Reed back in the day, but even then, at the same time, it seems like, man, I don't know, it's just hard to believe that somebody would win 10 championships in a row in motocross with 2 perfect seasons, nothing else happening. And don't quote me on these numbers because I'm not perfectly for sure. I think it was 10 championships, but that's insane though. That's just unreal. So it makes you think, was Ricky Carmichael just the first one to take it to that ultra serious level, or was he really that good? You always question it when it's the person that breaks the doors down, the first person that really is that unbelievable Michael Jordan, just can't believe that it happened. And I'm pretty sure there's people that have better stats than Michael Jordan, but everybody still considers Michael Jordan the greatest player of all time because the way he played. It wasn't necessarily stats-wise, so it's something to think about. I mean, if you're trying to be the best in whatever sport, you know, you don't want to listen to what everybody else is doing, because then you're only going to be as good as everybody else. You have to come up with your own style and your own mechanics and your own way of doing things, and that's how you would really become the greatest of all time and legendary and be remembered forever, like Muhammad Ali or any of those guys. So I don't know, it's something to think about, man. But anyways, thanks for watching the video. Later, dudes.